Hi, Alison here. Here is a quick video of an experiment that I did using just super glue on its own and then a combo of super glue and bicarbonate of soda on the ends of bracelet cuffs to test the bonding strength when glued to copper wire. The bicarb acts as an accelerator in the drying process of super glue, but it does not strengthen the glue at all. It does, however, which is pretty useful. It acts as a matrix for the glue to adhere to and is a great gap filler. It performs very well. It is a resourceful alternative to soldering or using copper plate for the cuff ends of bracelets. So I hope you find this useful. What I've done is I've prepped a couple of patterns and uh, different gauges as well, just to give us a good indication of the adhesiveness of super glue and super glue when added to bicarbonate of soda. I'm not saying bicarbonate of soda is going to strengthen the bond at all. I know graphite powder does, but I think bicarbonate of soda is basically going to act as a matrix to create a, to fill up gaps, any little holes that you might have in bigger pieces, where you've used thicker gauge wire. So let's see how it goes. I've also soldered a couple of ends just to get a good idea of, when we start bending the cuffs to see if any wires pop out. So comparing the solder um, to just super glue, etc. So let's start off with this one. I like this pattern, by the way. I think we'll do a tutorial on this one, except we won't use strands of wire. We'll probably just use wire, eight wires instead, probably a 14 gauge. But enough of that. All right, this is the super glued end, and this is the soldered end. I've just used regular solder that I use for my copper pipe projects. Um, just be careful when you do solder, don't let it leach right up into your copper. It doesn't look very nice. The same with the super glue. When you do put super glue on there, don't let it run up too high, because when you start bending your cuff, you've got a rigid end there, and it's not going to bend without cracking or breaking the bond of super glue. Okay, this one I've used solder on the one end and super glue on the other end. This one I just used super glue, but I started filing it before the super glue was completely dry, and it picked up. It looks a little bit grubby, but the bond is very nice and strong. This is a much thinner wire, probably about a 20. I have my doubts about this. It would probably work if I put in the bicarb with a super glue, but in this instance I just used super glue, but it will give us a good comparison, because here's the one that I have used with bicarb. So basically, you take your bicarb. I just took some out and put it into a little cup. I put super glue on the, cut it flush first of all, and then I put super glue. You can see I did not go very far. And then all I did was I pushed it into the powder, gave it a little flick, not that that's necessary, I suppose, and then let it dry completely. Then I filed it, and I came with a couple of little drops of super glue just to catch it finally, and to give it a little bit of a sheen after the filing. So that's the result of that. So what we're going to do now is we're going to test actually bending the ends of the cuffs and see if any wires pull out, just to see if this is successful. Can one use it? Um, Obviously, I know for a fact now that I have tested it that it does work. I just don't know how long it will last, but it's probably going to last for a very, very long time. Okay, so let's start bending. Oh, let's just get onto this one. Um, this is the same pattern, except I used square wire here and a different gauge to this. I just used super glue on this, but don't make a mistake and put your super glue on an oxidized a wire. This is what happens. It ends up looking grubby. So this was a bit of a mistake here. So just make sure before you solder, before you apply super glue, that your copper is nice and clean. Right, let's start with this one. That's where we're going to go. All right, this is the soldered side. So let's just take a bend there. Okay, obviously, well, nothing's pulled out there. Okay, let's try the super glue side. Nothing's pulled out there either. Strange looking cuff, this. Anyway, it's just an experiment. Let's go into this one. This is a bit work hardened, so let me grab some pliers. Let's go start off with the soldered one. So I don't want to bend on the bend this side. Okay, that's probably more than the angle that you need for the cuff. So nothing's pulled loose there. Let's go on to the super glue one. That's about all you need. Nothing's pulled loose there. Okay. Suppose this will look a bit better once it's shaped properly. That one we've done. Let's do this one. As I said, I've got my doubts about this. Quite a pretty little pattern, though it's flat on the bottom and it's got a ridge that runs through the middle here. So let's have a look here. I'd far sooner turn this into a bangle and put a nice little clasp, wire clasp on the end. Oh, there we go. Nothing is pulled loose. Somehow I don't think this will last. If we'd have put bicarb in as a matrix, used it in a matrix, and it might have been different. Okay, our last one is this one here. It's 8 wires. Also very pretty pattern. We'll do a tutorial on this one as well. So let's see how this one bends. Which way do we want to bend it? We want to go that way. Purposely, I'm putting pressure on the end to see what happens. Quite a bit, in fact. And that's more than enough of a bend for a cuff. Let's have a look. Absolutely nothing has loosened up. So I would say that is successful as well. So I suppose at the end of the day, it depends on what your intention is with the bangles. Um, if I was selling the bracelets, if I was selling bracelets, I would be a little bit hesitant to use the super glue. I would prefer to use a touch of copper solder or this, or put a little copper plate cuff at the end. Um, but if you're making it for yourself and you're being resourceful, this is going to work dead right. Okay, I hope you enjoyed it. If you do try this and it works for you, let me know in the comments. It will be great.